As we get more and more jarring images from the siege of the U.S. Capitol, many adults are still struggling to wrap our heads around what happened. So how do we talk to our kids about the event and the fallout? Child development specialist Robyn Silverman joins me now for more on that. Dr. Silverman, good morning. Thanks for being here. Let's start with the basic question. How much should adults be talking to their kids about what happened?
It really depends on age when it comes to talking to kids about tough topics. So for this, there's a lot of very ugly images on the news and a lot of hard news to process. So with your youngest children, you can turn off those news stations. And if they do come to you with a question because they've heard something, you can answer it frankly. As the children get older, that's when you really have to be careful. I did have a friend who told me she was not planning on talking to her child about it. And then the child did learn it from a schoolmate. So be prepared to talk to your older children about what happened, and your teens and your tweens are certainly going to be getting a great deal of news from their own accord while they're on the internet so often. So very much be prepared to talk to your older children and your teens about the Capitol attack.
And depending on the age group, should parents be monitoring or limiting what images of this event their kids see? You know, if you've got either the little one, the sort of kindergartner's age, or if you're looking at more of a tween situation, you know, what do you do depending on their age?
Absolutely. You should be limiting those images for your young children. If you have a kindergartner or young elementary school age child, those images of people scaling walls or bashing windows can be extremely disturbing, and they don't have the context to understand what's happening. They can't understand why this is happening. So limit that news and just turn it off. For your older kids, I would say co-watch. You can sit with your kids, 11, 12, 13. My 10-year-old certainly watched with us. And then you can answer questions as they're happening. And for your tweens and teens who are watching it by themselves, make sure they're getting their news from a reputable source so that they're not being told lies or misinformation.
And I know that you say, you know, if they have questions, answer them. And I know one of your things is answer them with facts. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about how we go about having that conversation if they're curious?
It's very easy to impose your opinion about why you think things are happening. And that may be another discussion that you can have. But when children are asking questions, they often want to know what exactly is happening. How did it occur? And when you can stick to the facts, then you're allowing your children to gain an understanding and then ask more questions as they come. The problem with many parents, and I do this too, is that you feel like you want to give so much information, but it's not always helpful for children. Answer their questions, answer them factually, and allow them to answer more questions. And also allow yourself to ask them questions, because you do not need to know all the answers, and you can give them a question of, why do you think this is happening? And how do you think you would handle it if you were in a situation where you were very angry about the results of a contest and you didn't feel like you could change them? What would you do? Critical thinking is born here.
Oh, I love that technique. I'm going to use that for every question, I think, from now on. Just, well, what do you think? But it's also one of those things where adults, we have a lot of our own thoughts and feelings about this. There are a lot of emotions that go into an event like this. So how should we process those for ourselves, and how much of that should we share with our children?
This is something that I've been talking a lot about with my friends, with my family members. It is an occurrence that happened. It's very rare, and it has evoked so many emotions in people across America and across the world. This is normal. You can absolutely tell your children that you're sad or angry or frustrated or confused and discuss that. But if you're about to take a deep dive into your incredible frustrations and dire anger about this situation, that's something that you reserved for an adult, for a friend, for a family member, for a spouse, a partner, and you can talk about your feelings and your fears. When we do that with children, it becomes too much for them. So reserve that deep dive for your adult friends.
All right, Dr. Robyn Silverman, great advice as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.